Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Grassroots Racing Show.
Welcome to the Grassroots Racing Show. I'm Doug Thompson with my brother co-host Roger Thompson. Hope you've been enjoying the summer. And Roger, I know we've been to Lakeside for 3 weeks, but now we're sending Mike Kraft back for one more week at Lakeside for the USRA event, and we're going to concentrate on the modified feature because that's a very competitive field. Mike also said, I've been out on the road for you guys for a lot, going all over. I'd like to stay closer to home for a little bit. And we said, we've got just this perfect spot. I want you to stay up there and do Lakeside Speedway. And I'm glad we did, because if you like short track racing, dirt track racing, then the Grassroots Racing Show is the show you need to watch, because it's just like being there. Can't put you in the cars all the time, but Mike Kraft has put in-car cameras, so we show you some in-car camera. We show you interviews with the racers and some of the behind the scenes. But when we're filming this, it's just like you're a spectator up there in the stands.
But keep in mind, Mike Kraft doesn't come cheap. His compensation is one barbecue a year, and
yeah,
we just
had it for him. That's right. So,
and I learned a good lesson. I don't ever say anything about Mike Kraft anymore, because he picked up one of the shows that we did where I said he could do an interview with a fence post and make it interesting, and he wasn't very, what would I say?
Complimentary?
No, it wasn't very complimentary, but we've got a plan for him, and that is we're going to do an interview with a fence post before he does.
Get the jump on him, because
I
know he's been thinking about doing one of those, interviewing the fence post.
Well, it was a great time we had last weekend, as a matter of fact, at that barbecue, and Steve Marston was here. He's preparing his doctoral thesis at KU. He's a professor at KU,
yeah.
And Jeff Sheldon came in as
From
a whiz kid
yeah.
at K-State.
Yeah.
And of course, we had Glenda and her husband and some other people, Pat Neal.
Pat Neal, yeah, he's here. Matter of fact, Pat's going to do an interview with
Steve tomorrow,
because Steve's trying to get information about, well, what's a pit crew do on a racing team like ours. And Pat was asking me, he said, what do you want me to say? I said, you tell him what you do.
Yeah.
And you tell him what it's like.
Steve's invested 3 years in this, and he's going to do a book besides, but a bright kid and very thorough, and I just enjoy being around him all the time.
I do too. Him and Jeff are just great people.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they've been here at the Auto Racing Museum. Steve's been doing research here at the Auto Racing Museum now for, he's been out here numerous times,
He's been
days.
on it for 3 years,
yeah.
But I mean, he'll be in tomorrow, and he was here for 3 days last week, and he says he isn't 10% through the museum, so we'll get there.
When you come back from break, we're going out to Lakeside Speedway for the USRA modified event. You stay tuned.
On the pole, your point leader, the 3B Nick Bittinger out of Perry, Kansas. He is alongside last week's feature winner, the 99H of Trevor Hunt. Darren Fuquay in the 87, winner of Heat 2 tonight out of Mayetta. He is alongside the 51 Tim Setzer. The 1K coming in second in points tonight out of Baser McCarthy Auto Group machine. Tim Carrick inside row 3 alongside Mark Schaffman in that 34. Our final feature of Budweiser Night at the Races here at Lakeside Speedway. At a 4, foot to the floor, engines roar. Here they come. Hear them roar into 1. Trevor Hunt, the 99H, on the high side, chasing Nick Bittinger in the 3B. 51 of Setzer. Year leader to 3B, around for lap number 2. A-Mods have a 25-lap event. Nick Bittinger, your point leader out of Perry, Kansas. Butler's Muffler and Auto Repair Machine. Bittinger has 2 wins. He's the only driver to repeat this season in the A-Mods. Tim Setzer gets up around that 99H of Trevor Hunt. Around for lap 4. Tim Carrick, the 1K, in 5th right now. He's gotten around the 34 of Schaffman. They continue to battle. Schaffman to 34, the 34A, Aaron Morant. Around for lap 5. Year leader on the front stretch, Nick Bittinger. Setzer. Kerry Davis working his way up through the field. Davison at 68. Year leader in turn number 1 to 3B. 3B, Nick Bittinger on the back stretch. Lap traffic already as they come around for lap 7. Leader out of 4, the 3B of Bittinger, the River Valley Ag Machine. Setzer, Hunt, 87. Right there with him of Fuquay. Lap traffic abounds for that 3B. Leader out of 4 in the 3B of Bittinger coming up on Liston in the 28. Setzer in the 51 continues to run in second. Trevor Hunt, the 99. Fuquay, the 87. Schaffman, the 34. Leader out of 4. Working his way through traffic. Leader on the front stretch, the 3B. Coming up on that 29. And a good job negotiating traffic. Fuquay also working his way. Leader through 3 and 4 for lap number 11. Leader out of 4. 51 of Setzer, the 99H of Hunt, and the 87 of Fuquay. Battle for second, third, and fourth. 3 wide into turn number 3. A lap car in between them. And now second, third, and fourth. Leader on the front stretch. 1, 2, 3. Oh, spin in turn number 2. 88. That's the 86, pardon me, 86. Buddy Benedict over in turn number 2. What an easy race to score. Ready to go. No lap cars now in the way. Let's see what happens. We've gone halfway. Nick Bittinger, the 3B. Tim Setzer, that 51. That car is for sale. Obviously a strong runner. Picking up the pace. Green flag. They will be around for lap 13. Morant in that 34A. Trying to hold on to position. Running up high. '21 is in early. 13 of 25 complete. Leader out of 4. 3 wide through 4. Terry Bruner, the AT, and 2 of the Steens out there. Bruner making contact with the concrete in that AT. Your leader out of 4. 68 of Davis has his sights set on the 90 of Terry Schultz. 66T running right there with him. That's Tyler Schmidt. Schmidt alongside of Davis. Schultz alongside of Dodson. Leader into one. Bittinger. Setzer. 99H of Hunt. Leader down the backstretch, around for lap 18 of 25. Out of 4. Getting a little more single file as the race moves on with the first 5 anyway. Great battle from there back. Bittinger, Setzer, Trevor Hunt, Fuquay, and the 34 of Schaffman, your top 5. All within turn number 4. Leader into 1 to 3B. Lap traffic now is the 28. Jerry listed in that 28. Advance from the B feature. Leaders going around him. Lap 21 of 25. Leader in turn number 1. Leader out of 4, the 3B. Lap 22 of 25. Fuquay battling the 51 of Setzer. Leader with lap traffic out of 4. Fuquay up to 2nd. Setzer. Lap traffic. Your leader out of 4. Your leader in that 3B. Around this time for the white flag. Bittinger. 87 of Fuquay. Schaffman and the 99H of Hunt change places. Checkered flag. Oh, he's got him at a 4. Fuquay wins it. Unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable. Led 1 lap, and it was coming out of turn number 4. Lap traffic made the difference. The big-time bail bonds entry. Unbelievable on the high side. Led only the last few hundred feet. 87.
Winner of the USRA A-Mods at Lakeside tonight, big time, Darren Fuqua. Darren, man, I mean, you pulled that out there when you had to. All I can say is I seen you had that momentum around the top, and it kind of looked like Benninger might be just playing it safe on that lap traffic.
Yeah, they were everywhere. Like, usually they're running the bottom or the top, but it just kind of seemed like they were scattered in front of him and between us even. But no, I just was running as hard as I could. I kind of backed the cushion up, getting into 3, and was hitting it early and just holding it to the wood all the way around there and gaining ground. And I finally got around Hunt and Tim Setzer. They both ran a good race. Kind of snuck between them. I thought they were going to put me up in the wall there a couple times, but we got in a second and we ran Nick down. So it was a good race for me, I guess. A little sick because we lost a belt, and I hope we didn't cook the motor, but I guess time will tell on that deal.
You know, this really is quite a comeback from, what was it, just 2 weeks when you were upside down in turn one.
Yeah.
And you know, you actually had a pretty good run last week. I guess that's one thing I want to know too, because you were running a GRT now. Is this a Venom?
No, this is the GRT.
Okay. And Libby, we got to straighten Libby out. He said Venom, and I didn't think it was, but I wasn't going to question his call. But what do you think of this? I mean, are you kind of beginning to like it?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. There's always pros and cons to everything, but I feel like we were real competitive and fast in the Venom car too. It's just this just happened to be there, and we were totaled out, and it was like my only option. So I talked to Ryan Whitworth about it quite a bit, and he worked with me on the price because he wanted some parts that I already had, and I just, you know, we got her down to where I could afford it, and it's close to home, so threw her together, and I just been driving the wheels off of it.
Well, I hope the motor's okay, but well, I'll tell you what, that was fun to watch.
Welcome back to the Grassroots Racing Show. I'm Doug Thompson with co-host Roger Thompson. You've been watching excellent racing action in the USRA modified event at Lakeside Speedway, and what a fantastic finish. That's one of those, you know, if you're the leader in the race and you lose it right at the end like that, it is just one of those, you say, man, oh man. But if you're the one who comes back and you leads, because you know how it is, you can lead all 25 laps, 24 and 3/4, and you get past at the end, the guy that won it is the one that passed right at the end.
You need to get worried when the car owner is the guy that says, man, oh man.
Yeah, man, oh man, how'd that get away from us?
Yeah, how did that get away from you? Were you sleeping or counting the purse, or what were you doing?
And if you're the driver and you're in charge of the whole crew, like I many times said, was that fantastic? We got a strong second out of that one, didn't we?
But like the articles you used to write about yourself when in the Topeka Capitol when you were in school. Don Morris and those guys, and that little short track up there at Topeka would race, and the headlines the next day would be Doug Thompson finishes 8th.
Second or 8th?
You know.
Well, I didn't write those. Dick Finsler from the Topeka Daily Capital
we know who wrote them.
Well, if I wrote them, there would have been bigger headlines and would have even mentioned Don Morris's name. Doug Thompson finishes.
It was down there in the little
tiny
where he finished. We won the race. It was Don Morris.
You've been hanging out with Don Morris for too long.
Well, I know that's true because I used to read those articles and I'd say, man, that guy's got to be writing his own stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Dick Finsler, you know, was here when we had the Antique Racers here. He was the featured speaker. The cool part about it was Dick Finsler got up and he remembered a lot about the racing.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And
Bright
I don't
fella.
remember him saying, I remember Don Morse, and I don't hear him saying the 7 people in front of me. Now,
that's because he read the newspaper.
He read the same
like
paper.
Everybody else.
Said, I don't know who the reporter was for the Daily Capital,
Yeah,
but he was a good one.
I can
Well,
tell you
that
who
worked.
finished 8th.
Yeah, I can tell you who finished 8th because the headline said so.
We saw a familiar name in this race at Lakeside, my friend.
Who'd we see?
Fuqua.
Darren Fuqua, he did, and he won that race right at the end, right at the last corner. Got a little opening, got that car under, and went on by.
I'm not sure I know Darren, but I sure remember Steve, because we ran a lot of races with Steve.
Yeah, we did.
He was very, very good in the late models, I think, what he raced.
Oh, he was. And in this field, you know, you had Trevor Hunt. You've heard me talk about Trevor before, that Trevor's
Kearney.
From Kearney, yeah, Missouri, and he's a young kid that's probably, he'll turn 16, I think, this summer sometime. Mike Kraft was telling me when he was here for the barbecue that we were talking about earlier, and Mike was telling me that Trevor's put on a little weight. He shot up in height, and you know, he's still just a really good kid. Sets his own chassis. Him and his dad, of course, spend a lot of hours on it. It's a family operation, and he's driving a new GRT.
Well, he doesn't want to get too big because the old rule is, Laverne Nance rule, if you can't fit in a small seat, you're not driving for me.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting that big. But,
all right.
But if you look at that field, this was a stellar field. You saw some great racing from Lakeside Speedway. I hope you've enjoyed the past few weeks as we've been to Lakeside, because that's a good racetrack with hard running cars. Thanks for watching. See you next time.